Had to get that out of the way. All right. Greetings. This is Skylar Saunders Singh. What's current? We're talking baseball. I don't know if you guys care, but I care. I care immensely. I just got the news flash. Pete Rose has been removed from the ineligibility list. He joins Shoeless Joe Jackson, part of the 1919 White Sox um, betting scandal. Pete Rose had a betting scandal as well. He was maligned by the MLB, the Major League Baseball Association, for years, for decades. I think it has been, and he died just a few months ago. Now they're saying that he's eligible for being in the Hall of Fame. Now the MLB and the Hall of Fame are two distinct entities. Even though the commissioner, Rob Manfred, is at the helm of course, the MLB, but he also sits on the board of the museum. So it's kind of weird. But this is my question: when will the MLB and the Baseball Hall of Fame recognize the Negro Leagues companies, the corporations? They've already recognized back in 2020 the various players such as Satchel Paige, Josh Gibson, and a host of others. Their contributions, there are many contributions to the sport, to the game, and how they some of them transition from the Negro League to the MLB. I see you, Holly. I see you, Texas. Salute to you. Salute to you both. Let me see. Was it Go Back to Jesus? All hail Lord Trump. Oh my God. Holly's checking in. Hello. Why do they need to recognize the Negro League? They need to recognize the Negro League because of businesses, not just because of the players, but because of the many vendors, the insurance companies, the law firms, the grocers. All these different businesses dried up or were immediately impacted when the league integrated, when it started having players like Jackie Robinson, the first black man to ever win, not only win Rookie of the Year, but also if not the first, one of the first to win a championship. He played for the Brooklyn Dodgers. Let me see. Nah, it's good how it is. Oh, it's good how it is now. Okay, you can say that, but I'm just saying this is what's weird to me. I just woke up, saw on my phone Pete Rose, because I was just thinking, like, doesn't he have the most hits? Doesn't he have like one of the highest percentage ratings? Doesn't he have one of the highest batting ratings of all time? And then when he dies, oh yeah, you can come in. So that's what the white man does to the white man. Not like he was doing it to the black man. He was doing this to the white man. So he didn't let him get it while he was alive. But I would imagine he's going to be inducted, enshrined, as they say, enshrined in the Baseball Hall of Fame in Cooperstown, New York. I think it's going to be for his family. And if Shoeless Joe's, great grandchildren or great grandchildren, if they are willing to see him be enshrined in the Hall of Fame as well, I think that's going to be a boon to his legacy is in turn. Texas says everyone forget about William Edward. Why it's a damn shame. I don't even know who it's true. I don't know who William. Let me look up who William Edward is. I'm gonna look. I've never even heard of William Edward. And this is a black show tonight. I'm a man of color who happens to live in America, but tonight it's a black show. Talking about the Negro League. And I'm talking about sports. I hardly ever talk about sports. I usually talk about music or court cases, or both. Let me see here. Who is this? William Edward White. I'm looking at the person right now. American baseball player. He was a 19th century American baseball player. He played as a substitute and won a professional baseball game for the Providence Grays of the National League on June 21st, 1879. Work by the Society for American Baseball Research suggests that he may have been the first African American to play Major League Baseball, predating the long careers of Moses Fleetwood Walker and his brother Weldie Walker and Jackie Robinson by 68 years. Thank you for... See, this is why I love my show. I have educated people like Texas, smart guys and gals. I see you, Holly. That educate my dumbass on what's going on. So I try to give them as much information as I can, but I get a lot of information from my very core number of people that come into my show. He says the people of color have left and black is back. I guess so, Holly. I guess so. But yeah, this is what I'm talking about. I didn't even know about William Edward White. I mean, he should be enshrined if he had high numbers, if he played well. I don't want to just say just because he's black. I want to make sure he had, like 30 home runs a season or something like that. I don't know what I'm really goofy with baseball. Imagine a black man in America first liking basketball and pretty much knowing all, and I still don't even know the stats and stuff like that of basketball players, but I know their characteristics and the roles. I know of course Michael Jordan and of course LeBron James, but also Allen Iverson and Gary Payton and Ray Allen and what's his name? Detlef Schrempf. John Stockton, the all-time assist leader. Yes, Holly, that is so true. There's something flying in here. Hold on. I don't know what the hell. But yeah, woke speak is dead. Yes, woke speak is definitely dead. Texas said he was the first one. That's all that matters. Okay. I mean, it does matter if he was actually good. I'm going by merit. I don't care about skin color. I mean, I know it's a black show tonight, but I have to be objective on certain stances. If he was a credible, a high performance player, then he should get all the recognition he deserves, and be remembered if he is actually the first black person to be in the MLB. I mean, that just goes with it. But there's also a Negro League museum itself, so they constructed something out of nothing because the MLB was not recognizing them in the same way. So you have to, contend with that as well. Samuel Little is the GOAT. Oh my God, you got Nate. See, this is why Texas is crazy. He's very knowledgeable. I appreciate him. Very tech savvy. Who is Samuel? Oh wait, where are we going? Oh, I forgot his name. That's right. Samuel Little is the GOAT. Why are you bringing up a serial killer? Now, it's so cute when you say Samuel Little is the GOAT, when there's Ted Bundy, John Wayne Gacy, Edmund Kemp, and so many others. I mean, why aren't they the GOATs? Edmund Kemp is still alive. He's like 6'7", 6'8", something like that. He's not the gentle giant. So I'm just saying this isn't totally original. This is just my venting what Mr. Choice Terrain said about that opened up my eyes, that opened up my mind. Like, that's what he does. He definitely makes it so I understand something that I never really recognized before. The vendors, the companies, the different, even the soda pops vendors, I mean, all the way up to the law and law insurance and law. Excuse me. Let me take a break. 5, 4, 3, 2. The insurance companies and the law firms. That's what I was trying to get out. But I mean, they either had an impact on their business when they couldn't advertise for the games that were played by the Negro Leagues. And if you want to be cute, who was the first white person to play for the Negro Leagues? Was there ever a white person that ever played for the Negro? Was there somebody that was was very light skinned and trying to pass ironically for black? They were very fair skinned, but they were white, but they had like curly hair or something like that. Maybe they were like Italian or something like that. Is that true? I don't know. I have to investigate that. I didn't look into that, but Mr. White played with white players in the 1800s. That in itself is a Hall of Fame achievement, even if he only played one game. I don't agree with you, sir. I don't agree with you, Texas. I want to go by performance. I don't care. I agree with the fact that he should be in part of the Negro League. He should be enshrined in the Hall of Fame of the Negro League, but not the MLB. If he, because if he didn't play as well with in the MLB, then that shouldn't grant him any ideas. Holly is asking, he was down in Texas, right? Who is this? Who is whom? Holly? But I'm just talking about the companies, the various corporate, small businesses and corporations that may have been formed, the funeral homes, the black barbershops, the hair salons. I mean, that's just common within the black neighborhoods. But like I said before, grocers, insurance firms, law firms, insurance companies, that's what it's like. Salute to Black Cuddy. Salute, sir. Long time, my friend. It's been a long time. It has. I'm glad you're in here. Make sure you tell, when you guys come in here, just tell like 10 people to say, look, this is a silly nigga named Sky. He's crazy. He's literally crazy. He has bipolar disorder. So make sure that you check him out. He's got some ideas. He's kind of silly, but he does have those ideas. Oh, you're asking Texas. Okay. That would predate the MLB, but totally monumental. Yeah, I guess so. But I don't really find, the black man playing in the white man's league to be so extraordinary and so, monumental. I mean, by the time, the 60s and 70s rolled around, the black man was dominating the sport anyway. The foundational black American, not just like Cubans and people from El Salvador and different places like that are black. They're black, like Big Papi Ortiz. He's black. He's a black man, but he's not FBA. He's not foundational black American. He's a black man though. Anybody question? He goes to a wrong part of the South. It's not like, oh, well, he's not FBA. It's all right. He's dark skinned, but it's okay. No, they're gonna be like, oh, look at them, kind of side-eyed and funny. Oh, here we go. Holly's dropping she's dropping racial slurs, I see, with the oh my god. And when I said who is this, I wanted to hear about the Italian. Oh, I was just making up. I was just making up somebody because he's Spanish. Who's Spanish? He's Hispanic. Let's not say he's Spanish because people from Spain are Spanish. We speak what language? We don't look like Charles, Prince Charles and what the Queen Elizabeth used to look like. We speak their language, but we don't, we're not English. Isn't Pang Dominican? Yeah. He's not Cuban. He's Dominican. That's right. Big Papi. Big Papi is Dominican. Yeah, Big Papi. You're right. That was good. Thank you for the catch. Big Papi is Dominican. Yeah, Big Papi Ortiz is from Dominican Republic. Thank you for catching it. See, I got a white woman that'll correct my dumb ass. She'll correct me. And then she says eggplant. Mulayan. If I say, I know I pronounced that terribly, but the moolies, the Mulayan. But I'm serious. This Pete Rose and Shoeless Joe Jackson, it's so random and so goofy. I mean, Rob Manfred sat down with President DJT. I'm not even gonna pronounce his name, but he sat down with him and they talked about it. Yeah, David Ortiz needs to be deported. DJT, president, the number 47. Is he 47? Is he 45? 47? Yeah. 47. Okay, yeah, 47. I always get my numbers mixed up. But he's 47. and he sat down with Manfred with Rob Manfred a few months after Pete Rose's death, and I guess that shaped his mind. Like Trump does, he has that voodoo weird. He'll flip on a second, talking people. Yeah, yeah. Italian people get so mad. Yeah, well, that's what the reality is. It's the reality is. I've heard from Mr. Troy Star Terrain that Italians, he's half Italian. He's African American and Italian. That Italians ain't nothing but niggas with straight hair. I mean, what happened with the Moors? What happened with various people that came through and integrated and had babies with all kinds of women? He can appeal to refugee status or asylum. Yeah, like AOC says. Oh my God. So it just comes down to the point where we have to give. There has to be a Hall of Fame induction or enshrinement for the businesses, the black-owned businesses that contributed to um the welfare of the game. If I'm not mistaken, they helped promote their own businesses, but also generated enough income for the players. They'll probably get what, $10 a week or something like that. That's like $1,000 a week or something like that in today's money or something like that. Something crazy, and that was a lot of money back then. Or maybe they got like $20 to $40 a week, which was crazy. But then they worked on lumber yards. They worked in on sharecropping fields. They worked in in kitchens as cooks and stuff like that. Then they went back on the field and played. Holly says, "What happened in Sicily?" I don't know, because Mr. Troy Sartarian says he's Neapolitan. He disregards the Sicilian trash. That's just him. That's not me. I don't know if you're Sicilian or not, Holly. He's Neapolitan though. I don't know. I don't know. But yeah. So I think with trying to be serious, but yeah, all those businesses either were heavily impacted or dried up, and nobody talked about them. Nobody even said a word about, the gum, the chewing gum factor, company, or the soda pop company, or uh, the funeral home, or the legal aid, or all these different companies and corporations, the hot dog vendors. God damn it! If you want to get a hot dog, it was probably like 25 cents or 5 cents, something like that. And all you had to do was give a nickel, and you had a hot dog. And that vendor, where did that vendor go? Nobody knows. They just went away. They just dried up. Oh, you're Southern Italian. Okay, so what country? I mean, not what country. What part of Italy? If I may ask, Holly. If you don't want to tell me, that's fine. That's fine. She's like, I'm from Southern Italy. I'm from Southern Italy. Like, get it right. Didn't Italy support Nazis? Yes, they did. A lot of people supported Nazis. I mean, just think about, we have a new pope. The pope was like, I mean, if y'all gonna fight, y'all gonna fight. He didn't. From what I gather, in history, the pope didn't have too much to say. All he had, he was the former witch doctor in chief. During that time period, I don't remember what who was the pope during World War II. I'm looking it up real quick, y'all. I'm just gonna find it. Who was the pope during World War II? Pope Pius the 12th. His papacy began on March 2nd, 1939, just like pretty much the rumblings in the beginning of World War II, and ended on October 9th, 1958, which was just a few years after Korea, and almost gearing up towards Vietnam. He encompassed the entire duration of the war. And it says this. Okay, I'm gonna just read this. He maintained a public stance of neutrality, refusing to condemn the Nazis publicly. I said that and I didn't even look it up. I just had an understanding, a sense, which was criticized as a lack of action. I'm just nice. I'm just good with it. I just come up with this stuff because I understood from what I understood from history, from when I studied. He didn't say yes or no against the Nazis or whatever. Texas says F the Pope. I ain't mad at him. 4 different pieces, but I only know 2 off the top. I don't play. 4 different places. Oh, okay. My mom did a 23andMe and found out we were like 2 or 3% Middle Eastern or Arabic. Wow. And she got so mad and threw the results out. We don't even know anything else. That's beautiful hatred. Thank you for that hate, Holly. That's beautiful. That's just honesty. She's like, I'm not one of those sand niggers. Ripped it apart. The newest from Chicago. Yeah, I know. He's from Chirac. And I already went to it. You can look at my show. I did a show on him talking about how, it was on Mother's Day. So you can look at my Sunday show. I was talking about how he, did he pray for the 600 people that were killed and 700 people that were killed in the Chicago streets in the mid 2000s and 20 teens? Did he pray for them? Yes, he is. He has his freaking doctorate. I don't care for the Pope. I like how Texas is now reserved after saying F the Pope. He's like, I don't care for the Pope. Like, he just put it gently. He's from Chicago, so I know he's a piece of ish, allegedly. She was so mad. I'm all Italian. That's funny. She's the kind of person that goes to Olive Garden and goes to the kitchen and says, oh, "You're doing this all wrong. You're doing everything you're doing. Just stop. You're not doing this right. When you're here, you're not family. Okay." I heard he was some possible bad history of excuse me. I heard he has some possible bad history of moving the molesters around. Yeah, they all do. Olive Garden has a bunch of Mexican cooking Italian. That's a fact. If they're not cleaning dishes, they're on the cook. They're cooks. I was a wait staff. I was a waiter. I was a server, as they not like the politically correct way of saying it is now. I was a server, and I had to go to the kitchen. Wherever there was, I saw them at the dishwasher, either dishwashing dishes, or they're some of the cooks. It's a fact. It's true. But yeah. So I'm just going on this Shoeless Joe Jackson and Pete Rose. It's like I'm torn. I'm ambivalent because I'm like, does it really matter? Does it matter? I'll be dead. I'm gonna be dead. Does all these accolades and championships and everything I've done, does it really matter? It's more so the work rather than the achievements or the acclaim and the esteem. I'd rather just do my work, put in, give me my money. The money is important because that's for life. Money is for life. But when it's like stuff with, Hall of Fame, it's like, okay. Maybe for my family's sake, that's a value, values in my family's sake. Maybe they'll like, they understand, like, wow, my dad's actually in the Hall of Fame. That's really cool. That's awesome. My great-grandfather's in the Hall of Fame. My great-grandmother's in the Hall of Fame. My mother's in the Hall of Fame. That's awesome. Holly says, my parents do not eat at Olive Garden. I do. Oh, yeah, I'm sure you do, Holly. Every single place I worked in either Mexicans or Brazilians in the back. Exact. Yep. Facts. This is facts. This is real. I mean, when you worked, were you like a maitre d or were you a server, Holly? Were you a server? I was a server for Olive Garden and I was terrible. I had Chianti. They have it split up in different wines. I can't even remember what the A and B stand for, but there's A, B, C. Excuse me. There's there's a wine that starts with an A, there's a wine that starts with a B, and there's a wine that starts with C, and C was Chianti. And I had one table. My dumb ass had one table, and I still couldn't work it. I was like, I can't do this. Because everyone was pushing me, like, yeah, you have such a great personality. Yeah, you can relate to the customers. And I was pretty good with relating and associating with the customers and the clients, but I just was terrible at getting food out and making sure that this table was okay and did they had their napkins and did they have more Parmesan cheese? Oh my God, are they having? Do they have enough booster seats for the kids? Do I have to card this kid because he's looking kind of young, even though he wants to get wine? I mean, it was a lot. It was too much for me. Oh my God. Here, Anthony Johnson is the go-to. Okay, here we go. Anthony Johnson. That definitely sounds like a Negro. Oh my God. How many kids did he kill? Anthony Johnson. Oh my God. They don't even have his face. The shopping cart killer? Are you kidding me? As of 2025, he has been charged with the murder of Beth Redmond and Tonita Smith and will be sentenced September 2025. Golly. This is crazy. This is crazy. That's recent too, and they don't even have his picture. Oh my God! It's a wrong black man. He's a serial killer. That's the shopping cart killer. You're talking about something different. You loved it. That's great, Holly. Food serving sucks. Yes, it does. Working in a bar is way better. So you're a mixologist, okay? So you can know how to whip up. What's what's your favorite drink to make, Holly? Anthony Johnson was the first slave owner. Oh my God! Oh, he's a goat. Anthony Johnson. So we're going back to what, the 1600s, something like that. 1619 at least. They had the 1619 project. This country didn't start in 1776. It started in 1619. Kind of BS. That's a new case for me. Yeah, that's new. Yeah, that's weird. That's so weird because we're talking about serial killers, and I look up Anthony Johnson, and he's a serial killer. He's a shopping cart killer, and it's a different Anthony Johnson altogether. Oh, this is gonna be a great show. This is gonna be one of my favorite shows, I think. But yeah. So we have. I mean, just to look at it, just to look at this, Shoeless Joe Jackson. All these years, it's over. What's that? 26 years almost. 1919. It's gonna be later on in the month, I think, or later on in the year when it happened. But 106 years, 106 years. And I said, oh yeah, well, yeah, let him be off the ineligibility list. Holly says, I used to drink waitress and a little bartender, just the regular bull. I used to like to mix test tube shots. Okay. Test tube shots. Okay. That's pretty cool. Was that, without getting too much into your business, was that to pay off, for Berkeley? was that to pay off your Berkeley bills? I salute you for that. If it is, Holly's an alcoholic. No, she's not. So salute to Texas for allegedly saying that Holly is an alcoholic. We do not know that. That's a huge allegedly. Anthony Johnson sounds like a singer. It does. That does sound like a singer of any genre, really. Holly doesn't even drink. She's not. She's off the. She's off the sauce. She's off the sauce. I'm a pot. Okay. Very well. And in Massachusetts, it's like last time I checked, you can have like a quarter pound, something like that on you. I could be wrong. You can have a QP. You can have a QP, a quarter pound of weed on you, and the police can't mess with you, especially if you have a medical card or something like that. Texas is brutal. Damn, you just a headache. Uh, Texas says. Yeah, I mean, I never thought of it before. I never even considered it before. I was just like, yeah, they need to have Josh Gibson in. Josh Gibson. I learned that from Choice Star Terrain too. I didn't learn that in school. I learned that from Choice Star Terrain. I never even heard of Josh Gibson. I was like, who? Who's Josh Gibson? That should be on the lips of every little league, player. Yeah, I want to be like Josh Gibson because he had a higher batting average than but Babe Ruth. I think he had more. I may be wrong. Correct me if I'm wrong. My dumb ass. I think he has more home runs than Babe Ruth, and they fudged the numbers. I think anyway. So I'm a bad drunk. Yeah, I'm a bad drunk too. I'm not like belligerent. I'm just like sloppy. I get sloppy. So I haven't had a drink in years. It's been a long time since I had a drink. Long time. Okay, here we go. Here we go. We got a link. We got a link. This is. Are you serious? Anthony Johnson, colonist. Yep, 1600 to 1670. Yep. A man from Angola who achieved wealth in the early 17th century colony of Virginia. He held an indentured servant in 1621. He earned his freedom. Held as an indentured servant in 1621. He earned his freedom after several years and was granted land by the colony. He later became a tobacco farmer in the province of Maryland. He attained great wealth after completing his term as an indentured servant and has been referred to as the Black Patriarch of the first community of Negro property owners in America. God damn. Thank you, Texas. Like, I'm not even kidding. They don't teach this. They say, essentially white man bad, black man good. Like they don't have any nuance, no context, no, idea of what is true and what's reality. They just say, the white man oppressed the black man, and that's true, but they don't give any nuance. They don't say like, okay, there were still black people that owned slaves. You do know that, right? And then did you know that Indians owned slaves, and slaves owned, got their freedom and owned Indians and Mexicans, and there were, all kinds of people around this time. It was a big, a free for all in a sense. It was like, and then it kind of codified, and then it got, the masters got richer and they got more land, and there was more slaves, and there was a call for more slave ships, and it just grew and grew and grew, and the narrative changed. The narrative changed completely. But nobody ever talks about that. Thank you for that, Texas. I appreciate that. Anthony Johnson. That's another person I got to put in my cap. That's so funny, though. I was thinking about somebody else. I was looking up. Oh, he's talking about serial killers. Anthony Johnson, the shopping cart killer. God damn. But no, I appreciate that, Texas. Sincerely. Respect. Salute. Because I never even considered this person. And I got to salute to Mr. Choice Star Terrain for bringing this topic up, because I only am saying it because I'm not really a baseball head. I get excited around October when it's the playoffs and the what is it, the World Series. That's what I think is really cool. That's the cool part about all this. Anyone who beat anyone in a fight had slaves, it seems. Yeah, I would agree with that. Holly. That's a good point. But getting back to the baseball, he Trump, DJT, President DJT, the commander in chief, highest office in the land, said, got into his ear and did his mystical, magical, majestic work and just turned on it. They just turn. It's like RFK turned, Rubio turned. What was it the guy from South Carolina, that black guy? I think he's from South Carolina. I can't think of his name. He turned. He's like, I'm Trump. I'm all for Trump. Yeah, I'm all for Trump. Like, seriously. The Dallas mayor turned. What are you talking about, Texas? The Dallas mayor turned. Oh, my dumbass. Yeah. The Dallas mayor turned. Yeah, that's facts. They flipped. He's one of the greatest. He's a terrible negotiator, but he's an excellent marketer. You have to give him that much. He markets himself so well. It's amazing how he can just be the art of the deal and market himself. Not necessarily negotiate, but market himself. Excuse me. Texas says F Dallas. F Dallas. It's all Fort Worth for you. The 817. Fort Worth. But yeah, so it's about the businesses. It's all about business. And they need at least recognition. If they haven't already. I might be chewing some cud. I might just be talking, some yak. But I think that these businesses, these grocers and law firms and insurance companies and hot dog vendors and cheeseburger vendors and whatever the case may be, and peanuts and stuff like that were all black owned, they need to have their recognition. Because when the MLB said, oh, okay, come on in, Negro. Come on in, nigger. Let's go. You can pick up a bat. You can throw a ball. You can run around these bases. You can run in the outfield or the infield. You can be on the third base. Come on in. It's fun. The last real Texan, big city, the 817. All right. Good to go. You know you can fit like a few hundred Delawares in Texas. Did you know that? That's how small my state is. Texas is what, the second or third largest state behind California and Alaska. But we just did trivia on Sunday about a few Sundays ago about Delaware fitting inside Texas like a few hundred times. Texas is the second biggest state, but I don't think Alaska should count because no one lives in the northern part. You are a real hater, Texas, but you are the truth. You are the truth. You let me learn something that I didn't even realize before. You talking about Anthony Johnson and hold on, what's his name? I have to write this down probably. Samuel Little. No, that's not Sam. That's not right. What's his name? I can't find. I'm looking for it right now. That's Samuel Little. What is his name? I can't find it. Go back to Jesus. White. Yeah, what's his name? White. It's not showing it. Here's the first one. That's all that matters. What's the white baseball player? William Edward White? Thank you. My friend moved to Dallas and hates it. Wow. What is it about? Let me write that down because I'm gonna forget it. William Edward White and Anthony Johnson. Excuse me. looking kind of crazy. All right. There we go. William Anthony. What is it? William Edward. Excuse me. Edward White. Anthony Johnson. You're one of the good ones. White boy. You're one of the good ones, Texas. What is it? What is it that they hate, Holly? What do they hate most? Is it the weather? Is it the bugs? Is it the people? The food? The cuisine? What is it they hate? I heard Dallas is a destination in sorts. I was in Dallas in 13 and 14. I thought it was a beautiful city. Well, technically I was in Fort Worth for the most part, but I went to Dallas. Oh, okay. The weather and the traffic. Oh, okay. It's the gays in Dallas. Said the crazy extreme weather is terrifying. Wow. With that humidity, that heat, get up in you. And that's for most of the year, right? Oh, tornadoes. Oh yeah, that would be serious. That would be serious. Wow. So I am already fulfilled this day. Holly corrected my dumbass. Texas brought in information I've never even heard of in my life. Anthony Johnson, the first colonist, a black man, started one of the first communities in America. It's already 100 degrees. Wow. Already. Wow. But yeah, and of course, William Edward White, the first black man that predated Jackie Robinson by 68 years. What did he do? I didn't look into his information. He must have did something. He must have raped a white woman or something crazy, something stupid. You love 100-degree weather. Now, Holly, do you love 100-degree weather? And I said that before, allegedly. I don't know what he did. But do you love 100-degree weather with, sitting by the pool and you're reading a novel and you got, a cool drink with you, non-alcoholic especially? Is that when you live 100-degree weather, or when you have to go to work and it's wild? I lived in the CA, California desert, and loved it. Yeah, California is well. What part? NorCal or SoCal? And if you don't mind, what city proper? 3 years, 115 in the summer. Wow, yeah, loved it. Okay, so what? Oh, I'm gonna pronounce this wrong. Coalinga. Different heat, Holly. Yeah. Humidity is different. Yeah, but yeah, I lived in San Diego for what was that? From September to March. So what's that? 9? What was that? 6 months. So I lived in San Diego. I loved it. It was during the fall, and then I went to early spring. So it was great. About 90 minutes from Fresno. Okay. I'll even take humidity. Okay. I can respect that. Definitely respect that. I can respect that. But Pete Rose, Shoeless Joe Jackson, completely eligible for being enshrined in the Hall of Fame in Cooperstown, New York, the Baseball Hall of MLB Hall of Fame. I don't care. I don't care. I don't care. I don't care about these white dudes. I mean, they're obviously they were great players on the field. They should get the recognition. But it's years later. It's a century later for one, and a few months later after he died. Oh, just wait till after he's dead. Hey, yeah, great. You're enshrined in the Hall of Fame, isn't it great? Well, you're dead. And then I guess the family can say, well, he might have bet on different sports team, his own sports team, the Reds. He played for the Phillies for a little while. So I just have to give recognition to the black businesses of the Negro Leagues. I didn't even it didn't even cross my mind until Mr. Star Terrain said it. I was like, damn, that's true. What happened to them? They didn't even like. They said, all right, Negroes, you can get in the baseball, and Jackie Robinson, 42, and it's all gravy, everything happy. His team hated him, the fans hated him, other teams hated him, but he still did the damn thing. I give him credit for that. But like in Mr. August Wilson's play with Troy Maxson, he said, I know teams that Jackie Robinson couldn't even make. So let's bring black fathers in the house. Do I need to get my dad? Do I need to get my dad right now, who's been with me ever since I was born? I've only been away from him for, cumulatively, maybe 3 years. Cumulatively. Maybe 5 years. 3 to 5 years. He raised me, and my mom wasn't there. She was still alive, but she wasn't that great of a mom. Y'all are whitewashed. That's why. Who are you talking about? Who's y'all? Who's y'all? Texas. Who y'all? Y'all are whitewashed is all. That's why. That's my terrible accent. I have no idea how I did that. Who's whitewashed? See, I just revel in that because it's like people I know. Oh, is that an invitation? Is it Holly? Texas, is that you? You shooting your shot with Holly? What you doing? What's going on? You having a time? But yeah, so they're not already enshrined, and I'm pretty sure they're not enshrined in MLB. They may be enshrined in the Negro League Hall of Fame, but I highly doubt it that black vendors are in the MLB. They may have some tiny placard, not even a plaque, but like a placard saying there were some companies that existed back in the 19th century and the early 20th century that promoted their wares and their services. Holly, I'm married too. That don't mean nothing. I'm just kidding. That don't mean nothing. But the um the reality is that it's just so distorted. The whole history is distorted. Everything is distorted. You get because I'm not trying to cape for them. I'm not caping for them, but government schools have so much that they have to cram into your brain in these 12 years or 12 years plus. And maybe when you get to college and university, they do talk about certain subjects that you wouldn't nearly hear because you were a child and now you're an adult, so you're definitely getting into territory that you wouldn't have gotten into when you were in school, and elementary and middle and intermediate and high school and junior high and stuff like that. We should bring back colored restrooms for a day. Bring back colored restrooms for any private business, not government installations, but every private business should be able to say, "Sorry, go piss in the woods," or something. Take a dump in the woods. I ain't got nothing for you. You can't. You're not doing nothing in this business. Not doing nothing in my cafe. Not doing nothing in my restaurant. Sorry, do what you got to do. She's not doing it here, and the law should protect that. The law should protect that. Private, only private, not government. Not government institutions and installations. But what was I saying about the Negro companies? Yeah, they're not in they're not in the MLB. They're not in the MLB. I would venture to guess that they're not even in the Negro League Museum. But there were so many different companies that had to deal with it. Had to deal with it. And it's like players with Pete Rose and Shoeless Joe Jackson. Yeah, well, they're dead, so I guess we can, take them off the list for ineligibility. It's all right. So, how many people have to die for recognition of companies and industries that provided a service or some kind of way of making money, for black baseball players? And no, wait, what? No, I'll make it federal. That's what I'm talking about. Government, federal, state, and city. What are you saying? I'll make it federal. You'll make what federal? Texas? What do you make federal? I'm confused. You gotta tell me more. Color restrooms. Oh, you make. That's where we draw the line, sir. I do not agree with federal colored restrooms. No, only private. Only private. Private restrooms, private diners, private restaurants, private. That's all it has to be. But not government. Government, anybody, any color, any shape, form, religion, faith, whatever you want to talk about, you should be able to go into whatever restaurant is possible, but not private. B, the federal government took away colored restrooms. You okay with it? Okay. B, I think you meant to say but the federal government took away colored restrooms. You okay with that? I'm not okay with that. There should be colored restrooms. Private colored restrooms. Only private colored restrooms. And white and brown and red and yellow and whatever the case may be. Bisexual, homosexual, I don't care. What LGBTQ only restrooms, transgender restrooms, whatever is private, you can do whatever the hell you want as long as you're not encroaching on somebody else's rights. But I appreciate today. I mean, we still got a little bit of time on the clock, but this is fun. Now it makes gay illegal again. I'm not laughing. I'm laughing because you're funny, Texas, but that's not funny. That homosexual people, they don't even like to say I say queer. That's the best one. If you noticed, queer is probably the best way you can say. I don't understand why they even have the alphabet. LGBTQ plus AI. Queer. Just queer. They took another name, repurposed it. It wasn't negative at first, and it still is in some circumstances, but they repurposed it and said, I'm queer, and they ran with it. And so I say queer. So I'm not saying, in a derogatory sense. I'm saying in the sense that they want to be called queers. And of course, Texas, you know the line. What comes from Texas Only blank and steers and what come from Texas? Only steers and who come from Texas? Illegals. That was good. That was a good comeback. That was good. That was a good comeback. I think Holly dipped out. I think she dipped out. Maybe she'll say something else, but I think she dipped out. It's just you and me, my light skin compadre. We're fighting it out. Yeah, but steers and queers come from Texas. As Arlie Erm. You want to see something cool? Hold on, give me a second. Holly got mad I rejected her. This is a picture of Arlie Ermey, the late great Arlie Ermey, great Marine. He signed this for me when I was in California. I was in San Diego. Right there, PFC Saunders, Semper Fi, Arlie Ermey. He passed away a few years ago, but he was really cool. He was the voice of Sarge. He was Rob 30,000 ish. So you're paying, right? You're still paying, right? Yeah, RIP, yeah. But yeah, so he was the person that popularized that phrase. The only thing that comes from Texas are steers and queers. And he signed that for me. He passed away a few years ago. But that was really cool. So Rob, 30,000 is you're paying again, right? My Cash App, my Venmo, and my PayPal, or you're telling somebody else to subscribe, right, Rob? Right? You're coming in late to the show. I'm about to get out of here. So all the queers are in Dallas. You really don't like Dallas. What is your esteem for Houston and San Antonio and so many other parts of Corpus Christi? I don't know. Why don't you live in Corpus Christi? That seems like it would be a very well. I take that back. It's more Catholic. Corpus Christi, I think, has more Catholics. You're not a Catholic, Texas. That's what I'm talking about. Thank you for that Cash App. Thank you, sir. Appreciate it. That's all I needed. That helped me out. Yes, I know you're a Christian, but I think Corpus Christi is more so related to Catholicism. I know you're not a Catholic. That's what I was saying. But I'm going to try to sum up this entire show. This I had fun in the show. I had a really great time. I learned a lot. Rob a simp. Okay, wait. Now you're going back and forth. Don't disrespect Rob if he gave me a donation. He gave me a good donation. I appreciate him. Thank you for that. I had a great uncle that played Negro League. I didn't know that. Wow. Okay. What was his name? He might be able to be searched. What was his name? Rob 30ish. If you don't want to give your last name away, that's okay. Or a previous name. No, they got hoes in Corpus Christi. They got them hoes in Corpus Christi. Here we go with the lies. That's why I'm at. Hey, the first thing that came out of my mouth was, "Hey, give me your name. Give me his name. What was his name? He might be searchable." I give him the benefit of the doubt. Here we go with the lies. Texas is a one of a kind. He's a card. But I do appreciate you, sir. Texas, like anybody that gives me knowledge, I just think it's like that I never heard of. I never heard of Anthony Johnson, the colonist, and I never heard of William Edward White. I never, not even like, oh yeah, I remember. Oh, yeah, no, never heard of them. They were the first. They made history. I mean, if you want to be a first, I mean, we're the first state. I mean, may not admit you were the greatest. I maintain that we're the greatest state, but I could be biased. I think I'm a little subjective about that. That's one of my only subjective points. But we could be. Nobody ever says the greatest state. They say the finest city. They say the best city in the world, New York. The finest city is San Diego. But with states, they hardly say what's the greatest state in the union. The closest one would probably be Texas. I was about to say Texas, California, Illinois, New Jersey, Florida. Like these states are so iconic because they're film. They have so many ties to film and artwork and TV and movies and books and stuff like that. So, but I'm gonna wrap it up real soon. The businesses, the black businesses especially, should get their due. Why didn't they get their due instead of Shoeless Joe Jackson and Pete Rose, a known cheaters, known what did they do? They didn't, maybe not cheater, maybe betters, known betters on their own teams, and there were some books that found out later that he always maintained that Pete Rose didn't bet on his own team as a player, or didn't bet, either he didn't bet as a player or he didn't bet as his own team, something like that. But they found out in books that he actually it indicated that he did, and he could still end up enshrined in the MLB Hall of Fame in Cooperstown, New York. And that is the way of the white man in America. That is beautiful. Salute. Black man, you got to pull it up for your own. You got to do your own. You got to do it for yourself. It's do for self agenda. Just like the late, great, honorable Elijah Muhammad said. That's what I meant. I didn't mean. I take that back. They didn't cheat. They bet. They bet. They didn't bet. They didn't cheat. They bet on their certain games. The only excitement in Corpus is the Wendy's that Evelyn Goria worked at. Corpus is whack. Salute to Gumbinos. Salute to you, sir. Make sure you hit that like, subscribe, comment. If you haven't already subscribed, I'm pretty sure you have subscribed. Tell 2 or 3 other people, say, man, this is nigga named Sky. He's kind of silly, but he's got some ideas and he learns on the job. he's a learner. He's a quick learner. So make sure you help him out. Shoeless Joe Jackson was illiterate, so he didn't know what he was signing. Okay, now we want to get cute. I was just about to entertain Rob 30,000 ish and Gumbinos, but Texas is about to make me. I want to make sure he ends on a good note. He gave me the game on Anthony Johnson, the colonist, and hold on, let me make sure I get his name right. William Edward White. So I'm gonna make sure I end on that note and not his nonsense. Okay. So I appreciate everybody that came through. Thank you, Holly. Thank you, Texas. Thank you, Rob. Thank you, Gumbinos. And I will see you all sometime tomorrow, maybe at the same time or a little later or a little bit earlier. But thank you for watching. Take care.